Hey, everybody. Friday afternoon, July 11th, 2025. And 17 years ago, this crazy younger man at the time, at the request of Dr. Brett Steenbarger, who many of you know or follow, made the decision to improve the accountability, take responsibility, and do so in a completely transparent and exposing environment. And that is what the foundation became for the journal, the diary, the hour by hour, day by day for a couple of years, um, chronicling every thought, every trade, painstaking detail, the highs, the lows, the learnings, the being on your game, the being off your game. That was 17 years ago, 2008. Well, most of you know that I've been away from that sort of thing for the past few years, away from education, away from the trading network that we created because I was given the opportunity to take a leadership role with two growing companies. And it was just an opportunity that was too well suited for the skill set. And if any of you have watched Pete Roberts' video from a week or so ago that I posted on Twitter, and I'll post a link in this on this site as well. Around the 8-minute mark, Pete gives a little bit of insight in terms of how that all came about. Now, I will take not offense to, but I will dispute part of that narrative by Pete where he uses the word genius, because uh, those of you who know me know I am no genius. But it was kind of him to tell the world basically, and this guy gets thousands of views. How it all came about, and he says that I'm sure affectionately he knows me well enough to know that I'm nowhere near that. Um, but they looked at several hundred folks for what they needed here, and for some silly reason they landed on me. And one of the reasons was there were only 5 people amongst the hundreds who passed this test. And I remember, I wrote in the comments to the video, I remember to this day that it was kind of on a whim. I said, "Oh, this looks interesting. It's a good skill set. I love the company story, the mission. Let me do this." And I got to the test. It was like 11:30 at night. It's like 11:39. I was tired. And I was focused on trading and some other stuff and network responsibilities. And I did it. It took, I don't know how long it took me. Maybe 45 minutes, an hour. And I was on fumes. And I know that night and the next morning I thought, no, there's just no way. And I wonder how that went. And it wasn't until maybe I think it was after I was here for a year that Pete and I were sharing some of those stories. And he says, "Yeah, you realize you've scored at the top of the list." And I'm thinking, no, that can't be. But anyway, uh, it was funny. It was a funny story back then. And anyway, I've been totally involved. Origin USA, Jocko Fuel LLC, and that will remain the case for the immediate future. Although again, as I said last time, I do see a window that's going to open up where I can get back to this. So in the meantime, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I've had a couple of false starts. But I've mentioned, a lot of you folks that do trade, that follow markets, that follow me, are part-time traders or small-size traders, and so that's kind of what I'm relegated to right now. And I thought I would formally start a new type of journal, basically, and I'm calling it the Executive Trader. And a few things come to mind in terms of this, but it's a very different journal. It's a very different intention with a different goal than I had some 17 years ago, where I was uber focused, nonstop, you know, growing millions, as was chronicled. This is taking a very modest amount, and it's doing so on a part-time basis. I have top priority responsibilities with my companies. I have a fiduciary responsibility. There are millions of dollars that go through my hands every day, in and out for the company. We are both companies are among the fastest growing brands in the world, and so that's number one priority, and it will remain that way for some time. However, I love the markets. I do monitor. I watch the recaps every night. I do trade. I dabble, and I hate that term. I dabble in it with less than stellar focus, less than stellar windows of opportunity given my responsibilities. But I'm thinking, okay, kind of at a point now where I'd like to spend some more formal time with this. I'd like to see for myself whether it is doable, because many of you, again, are in similar situations as I am now. So I think a modest amount. By the way, Pete mentioned the video, so this is public knowledge, and I'm a key investor to Jocko Fuel LLC, and so Pete and I are business partners to a large extent. And that's where one of my funds are tied up, because that is the bet of all the things that we've done, that I've shared with you. Basically, the fruits of that, the learnings from that, trade by trade, thousands, tens of thousands of trade sequences. Taking that knowledge and going for the big bet. More to come down the road on that. But anyway, back to the markets. I love it. I am very active in the Globex markets when time, opportunity, and focus permit. Now, I have been, again, dabbling in it with less than stellar success because of those reasons. So I figure, all right, this is kind of like it was 17 years ago, except in a different setting. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start to journal, whether I trade or not. I'm going to really try to at least journal. And I don't know if it's going to be video or text. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But I've laid a few parameters out in the blog post. Feel free to read through those. And I'll share a couple of thoughts on why some of those are structured the way they are, if I can find the darn draft that I started creating. Just give me half a sec here. And it's, yeah, okay. So 350K in trading capital, a very modest amount in my opinion. I've often said, a decent trader can double that once he or she figures the game out over a course of a year, conservatively. And again, given the part-time obligations or part-time opportunity I have to do this, I'm going with some very modest capital and some very modest goals. Okay, so 10K a month. So what is that? 10K times 12, Mr. CFO, right? 120 on 350. So what's that? 30% return, somewhere around there. Very, very modest, but should outpace the indices and get my head back in this and have some fun with it. I threw some other targets here. These are flexible. When I am trading and I have opportunity, $1,250 initial daily target. The intention to build that to $2,500. Maximum daily draw $1,000. Maximum number of daily losses per month 3. What's the science behind that? What's the statistics, ratios? Why come up with that? It just fits my availability and fits what I want to do right now. Okay. I don't want to say it's play money because we've got to take this seriously. I've got to take this seriously, but that's the starting parameters. Primary trading vehicles, ETFs, Spiders, SSO, primarily. I do have a lease, by the way. I sold my membership a while ago when the prices were spiking, and I got back in, so I have a lease, so I get decent fees on E-minis. But as I mentioned last time, ETFs, exchange traded funds right now, not only the commissions zero, which they've been for a long time, is the case for most stocks, but the SEC fee right now is also zero. So essentially there's no commissions, no commissions. Probe, probe off, probe off, probe off, probe. There it is. Add, exit, right? Minimal risk, minimal risk, minimal risk, maximum gain, zero cost. Okay. So, put your money where your mouth is. Done. Trading hours, primary trading hours, extended trading hours. Again, given all of what I've talked through. Is there going to be an opportunity for intraday swings if I can, get something in the morning and feel good about it? Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Primary trading platforms, TOS, Thinkorswim, and E-Trade. Part of that money is at E-Trade. It's a very small account. Key tools. I've been meaning to mention this, and it's in the gratitude section when I launched this a year or so ago. So Verneman at Kofi Trading, he still puts out an outstanding morning briefing, in my opinion. I look at it every day. He doesn't even know I'm saying this. There's Target there, and I know there's a lot of great stuff out there. Not meant to diss any of them, but really good, simple one-page. Hey, here's what's overnight. Here's the tendency of the market overnight. Here's what we would expect, and here's some initial levels. And if it trades above that, with bullish signals, then press that way, and vice versa on the south side. So I do look at it every morning. Financial Juice. Okay. Live audio news. I don't follow the news as much on that as I do the ticker. It's an audio ticker on it. So again, during the times that I'm available to focus, which is primarily after hours, the audio signal that it provides, similar to the crowd noise in the old pits. So very, very helpful, especially if I'm watching baseball game or something, and all of a sudden it'll start ticking off, and I'll take a look at it. And I've got some primary indicators that on TOS that I've shared with you in the past that are overlaid right in the price chart, so it's all in one place, which is pretty cool. Tracking. So I use TraderView, a tracking platform. I think that's top notch, and so uploads of the trading sequences to that, so it provides all the statistics for me. And the one I'm most interested in often is the intraday profit chart that tells you your profit over the course of a day or evening. Now, it's a great platform. There are some times where that chart does not appear, and so there might be times when it's not available or something. So, not quite sure why that is. Maybe I can work with them on that. And then use the TraderChronicles.com platform for diaries, and then try to make entries when not even trading. So that's kind of what I've got here. Assumptions, which are really, really key. CFO duties, number one priority. 1A, 1B, 1C. There will be days with no trades and missed opportunity. Given that, I said journal thoughts daily, even when not trading, and continue what we started 17 years ago, which was full accountability and transparency. Like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know how it's going to go. But I need something like I needed back then to be accountable, to be focused, to get out of the dabbling, to transition from dabbling to more than serious hobby to what at some point will become full-time, again, with a lot of capital. So, as I said back then, I'm doing this for myself. You want to look over my shoulder? Great. Please understand the parameters. We had a lot of fun years ago, and maybe we can start that up again. So anyway, that's what I got Friday afternoon. I am going to post something for today. And, last time, if you go back to the first 2008 entries, something happened when I launched it, and I my worst loss in a long time, like within the first week. That's not going to happen this time. So, hey, have some fun with it. I'm going to have some fun with it. Enjoy. If it helps you guys, great. If you have any thoughts and if you have any experiences you want to share with me, Don at TraderChronicles.com, as I get back into the public swing of things. So, love you all. Hope you're doing well. That's what I get for now. Lock and load. See ya.